All right, we'll call the planning commission meeting to order. Everybody have a chance to take a look at the minutes?
I move to approve.
I wasn't there, so I'm not going to vote on them.
You know, that doesn't matter.
I know, but
Robert's Rules of Order would say otherwise, okay?
would say yes.
No,
You say you
it
can
doesn't
vote on
matter.
anything you want.
That's right.
Well, you know, once it's been called for. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion's approved. Discussion possible action on a certified survey map for St. Croix County tax parcel 236-1975-16-000, Gerard Development LLC.
So the CSM in your packet is, the purpose behind it is to dedicate Maxwell Drive extension to the public. So currently it's private, but it's going to be made public. Additionally, in the CSM, they've also outlined a couple outlots and the single lot. That's about it, pretty much. It's a pretty minor thing. Staff's recommending approval of the survey map with the condition that the applicant sufficiently addresses all engineering comments.
So move with staff recommendations.
Second.
Got a motion and a second for approval. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Discussion and possible action on a rezoning recommendation to the Common Council for a zoning map amendment from PCD, Planned Commercial Development, to PRD 3, Planned Residential Development, and a comprehensive plan amendment from general commercial to medium-density residential on the southeasterly quarter of St. Croix County tax parcel 236-1975-10-001.
So the applicants are looking to rezone Lot 12 of the St. Croix Meadows plat from PCD to PRD 3. It's generally located in the St. Croix Meadows parcel southeast quarter. Final master plan for the planned commercial development provided for a market rate multifamily building on this lot. But essentially, what they're looking to do is kind of expand a little bit more and do like different types of zoning, or not zoning, housing types, sorry. So incorporate single family as well as row homes, duplexes, and the potential for future development of a multifamily building. But essentially, it'd have the same density as what was proposed in the final plat and plan.
There's no exit out on Tower Road, right?
Correct.
No.
That should be clarified, but, and any, nothing from neighbors from our packets?
No, haven't received anything from neighboring communities.
I'll move we approve the rezoning application and use all considerations of staff approval.
I'll second it, I'm sorry.
You have a motion and a second. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Discussion possible action on a preliminary plat recommendation of the Common Council for the southeasterly quarter of St. Croix County, tax parcel 236-1975-10-001, Park Place LLC.
So in conjunction with the previous development rezoning plans you just looked at, here we have the actual plat itself that will divide Lot 12 into 54 separate parcels, and it includes 3 outlots that will help with the green space requirement for PRD zoning. Drainage and utility easements have also been identified on the plat, and staff is recommending approval with the listed conditions.
So moved with the conditions.
Second.
Motion and a second. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Discussion possible action on a downtown design review for 302 2nd Street, Ziggy's.
So Ziggy's Restaurant has submitted a sign package. This isn't going to be, it's kind of a downtown design review thing, but they're not changing the facade of the building in any way. They're just adding, well, refacing one sign and then adding a new wall sign. The wall sign will be added to the north facade of the building, and then the projecting sign is what's going to be refaced to have their new logo.
Are they painting that on the wall or
No, it'll be an actual sign.
lit up?
No.
Okay.
And this is as you're coming north.
If you're headed south, you'd be able to see
South,
it.
yeah.
It's on the north side of the building. If you're headed south, you'd see it.
Facing the hop and barrel.
Yep.
That
So
wall.
facing Hop and Barrel, and then this, and neither one of them will be lit?
Well, the projecting one, I
Projecting
think has
one.
like,
The original,
Existing Pudge's sign that was always there, that one would be lit.
That's such a cool iconic sign.
well, they're keeping it,
Right.
they're just throwing Ziggy on it. And
Right. No, I get that.
I would like to mention too, like, the term restaurant on that Ziggy's projecting sign is spelled wrong. I did point that out to
Yeah.
them, so they are going to
Yeah.
correct that.
I'll move we approve it.
Motion and second for approval, discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion's approved. Discussion possible action on concept development plans for a building expansion at 609 Second Street, CMM Mallory's, Inc.
Mallory's has submitted concept plans for a building expansion top of the existing Mallory's restaurant. The expansion includes a 1,575 square foot roof deck, an elevator, stairs, and a dumbwaiter. The expansion is going to add about 17 tables with 4 customers, so in other words, like 68 total new customers would be able to eat there. Staff is recommending approval with the listed conditions. The applicant is here though, if you would like to present or if you have any questions.
Do you have color renderings or no? Just what we have?
Just what you have for
And some crayons?
Colored pencils,
So
please.
this is on top of the current, so we're going up
Yeah.
higher?
Yeah.
And how much higher?
I think it's, yeah.
I mean, I'm just curious.
So the next deck level will go, basically, the deck level itself will be where the pergola height is right now. So we're not going much further in height with where the deck itself is. And I believe we're going 8 feet higher, I think, with where the elevator chase is and the stairway coming up, I think, from below. And dumbwaiter, yes, too. So we're not looking at much more height than
Yeah.
what's already there.
And you're confident it's structurally sound to do that, as you've been in the construction business for how long?
Yep, yeah, when we have a licensed architect and engineer on the project, everything's been ran through the state of Wisconsin already. It's been preliminary approved with conditions that were changed and adjusted on the drawings that you have in front of you. We do have to do some core filling on the south end of the building to create what we need for structure to hold it, but they're very confident. They've run all the engineering and everything. We wouldn't create anything that's not safe, so.
Well, I know the roof deck is popular.
It is. One, we don't have enough seating right now. On busy nights, we turn more people away than we're able to seat, and we're not able to accommodate larger parties. This is more of a larger party venue where we've got clear space up on that level. We'll have an outdoor cooking pit that'll serve that area up there, so it'll kind of be its own isolated part. Our kitchen can't handle any more from down below, so.
You will have to surrender your license after, once it's done, and redo that. Not that that's,
To adjust the, yep,
yeah, the
the
description.
description of the areas where we serve alcohol. That's
So
understood.
you're gonna keep that open roughly the same?
That'll be more seasonal. What'll happen with the existing roof deck is that'll be enclosed on the top, and then we'll have retractable sidewalls on the existing roof deck right now. So that should be open probably 10, 11 months out of the year. We're still playing with some winter season on that, but once that's covered, that'll actually be more weather prohibitive. So that'll, the upper deck will only be seasonal. It won't be covered, it won't have any sidewalls, anything like that. So it'll be strictly warm weather from roughly April until November.
I'll move we approve it
With conditions.
with conditions of,
Thank you.
I'll second.
Motion and second for approval, discussion. All those in favor?
aye.
Opposed, motion's approved. Discussion and possible action on recommending the common council set a public hearing date for the zoning map amendment from R2, two-family residential, to B3, central business, and a comprehensive plan amendment from single and two-family residential to downtown commercial at 821 and 825 Second Street and 828 First Street, CMM Investments LLC.
Excuse me, I'd ask that Jason Johnson come back up and present the concept, and present his project, or his proposed project, and then I'll clarify staff's, current recommendation on it after he gets through, with the idea.
Do you have visuals this way? Is that what you find, or tripod?
There we go.
So this is the actual surveying of the block that we're looking at here. 2nd Street, 1st Street, Elm Street to the south, and Orange Street to the north. Existing right now is the AT&T multi-story building on the corner, which takes up these 2 parcels right here. AT&T parking lot right here, and we're proposing these 3 lots right here become B3 zoning for a luxury condo building. This is the front facing of that corner right now, so they're basically 2 older, this one's they're both pretty dilapidated houses on the corner, and AT&T is right here. So we're essentially looking to complete the block all the way over to Orange Street with commercial. Right now, this is zone R2, and this is, essentially industrial commercial building. I don't know how that zoning worked back then, but we're kind of looking to just kind of bring that block to the corner.
You purchased the properties?
I have the properties, yeah.
All 3 of them?
I represent the parties and myself included that own all 3 lot properties under our control. This is the concept for the building itself. It's all brick and stone facade, cornicing around the roof perimeter. We're looking at 17 luxury condo units right now with the way that this is proposed. This is very much in the preliminary stages. There's going to be some changes that have to do with the interior of the building and some of the exterior. Right now, want to introduce this to the community with the understanding that it's going to be probably a little bit of a process. I'm really looking for more of the public input and public hearing at this point in time. Mike and I have sat down and had numerous conversations about this and the downtown district and what's going on right there right now. I firmly believe that it completes the block and brings a great building to the downtown area. I grew up in Hudson, so I really want to be mindful of the historic nature of downtown. We did design a building that's brick, stone, and corniced in architecture. So it fits in. It doesn't have a lot of the more modern composition on the outside. We're really trying to get it to fit in with what is going on down there, from a historical standpoint, as well as where AT&T is at, being a full brick building, separated by a parking lot. The building itself will be 4 levels. It'll have 34 underground parking spots, 2 parking spots for each unit within the building, 3 levels of living, and there'll be a top roof deck. There'll be river views from the top level as well as the roof patio deck itself that'll be attached to the upper penthouse levels of that building.
What's the height?
We 42, 41, right in there. We
So is
fall
it-
underneath the 45.
Is it close to what the AT&T building is?
We're a little bit higher than that. We
didn't measure that.
didn't measure it. It's probably a story higher than the AT&T building with my guesstimates. Having a construction background, I haven't really done a field measure, but it looks to me like AT&T is probably 2 to 2.5 stories, or this is 3 stories on the street side on 2nd Street.
And are the houses currently vacant, or are there folks?
They're rental properties. All 3 of them are rental properties
Okay.
currently. The 2 houses, all 3 of the houses, they were all built in the late 1800s. The foundations are starting to be dilapidated. We're having to put a lot of money into keeping the
Fixing them.
structure intact. A lot of boulder and sandstone was used back then. As well as, you've got that block, I think, that's kind of within that date. When we actually renovated it, we found some paper in the walls that had been signed by the original builders. That was 1886, I believe. So
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. One of the guys got a hold of it with a saw, so it wasn't totally intact when we pulled it out, but it was nice to know when it was built.
Any initial thoughts on pricing or?
Our ballpark is probably starting at lower units in the 5 to 6 with upwards of $1 million on the top. We've got units that are anywhere from $1,350 to, I think our largest unit on the luxury penthouse level is $2,200. The idea behind it is that the top level units will have private patio access to the roof. They'll have roof views. They'll have their own private patio areas. If you look at the plans within your packet, the building is actually designed at an L, so there's actually, I believe, a 4,000 to 5,000 square foot green space, which makes up that part of the building that would be used by the main level and second level units. There'd be fire pit, play area, all that kind of green space stuff that would go along with those units. We're really trying to create a building that's conducive to its environment so that the people there can have their own parking spots off-street, have their own green space areas off-street, their own patio space off-street.
You have initial contacts with the neighbors across the street or anything?
I've talked with neighbors on my block, but not across the street. I have not.
And are you going to pre-sell these before you start construction, or how are you going about it?
That's really yet to be determined. However, we have to work the finance end of things. Again, we understand this is going to be probably a little bit of a road. We're throwing something big into downtown here that, we, and myself representing the company and parties, want to ensure that we do this correctly. Having conversations with Mike, Mike is adamant that it's done correctly. More than anything, I'm looking for a public hearing so that we can, introduce this project to people and get their input.
To be honest, it looks like the old 4th Street Middle School. I mean, it just looks like a big old building there. There's no shapes or colors or...
There's definition inward and outward, and as I mentioned to Mike too, working with the public, working with the city, and more importantly, working with our design on the inside, this is really a preliminary concept. Myself as a builder and designer would like to add more character to it and take input from, the neighboring people and downtown. I want it to be conducive and to fit in with, what the community wants. I don't have any strict vision for how it needs to be.
The AT&T building isn't very,
Yeah, it's been an eyesore for years, but
but I agree with you if there's, but initial concept.
We don't want to add to it. We want to have a building that's going to be attractive and fit with downtown. It's going to be very advantageous to the people that buy these units also. When you're buying luxury units that start at $500 and $600, work up to $1 million, it's going to be something that, we as developers and builders want to make sure that it has a strong curb appeal.
you couldn't just bring a nice little project in, could you? We just start clearing off our
That's what
plate
the
a little
development
bit.
director said to me. He was looking for a break.
And I apologize, how many units again are you looking at?
There's 17 proposed
17,
right now.
okay.
Yep. 5, 5, and 4.
So the motion here, if there's a motion, is for public hearing. Set a public hearing date.
Mike,
I'll
did
make
you
that
have?
motion.
Oh, I was just gonna,
What?
I'll second
Go ahead.
that, but I was just gonna see Mike had some comments.
In Fred's absence.
Nice. And working with Jason, obviously the thing that comes out is that, this would be an expansion of our downtown overlay district, right? And with that has some implications and consequences. We're talking about if we expand B3, that means in turn we could expand B4. It's really a more, like Mr. Johnson stated, it's more of a global discussion, right? It's about how far does downtown project to the north? Does the community have a vision and support that expansion? I think the project itself is fantastic, from staff's perspective. But I think it's important that, we take, as a plan commission and as staff and I think working with the applicant to make sure that this is done right, we take our time, that maybe that conversation also ties in with the comp plan process too, and really have that community, downtown discussion of how far does downtown go? Yep.
And if I may add one thing, just to be clear here, the building actually covers these 2 lots, not this lot. It's comprised of just these 2 lots right here. The access to the lower garage area of, there's an in and an out on the back of the building would be accessed from the alley itself. This lot right here is not included within, we're just looking to get that rezoned at this point. There's a couple different options to go down.
So the house would stay there? The structure that's currently there?
To be determined. As we go through that process and how that building develops would answer that question.
Do you think you would make this building bigger and?
Nope, nope.
Okay.
No, we need the access for the underground parking. I mean, we understand, I own a, owning and representing a restaurant downtown, I understand the parking issues, and we designed this building trying to really cut those questions off. We wanted to make sure there was 2 spots for every unit. We've got 34 underground as well as storage garage area kind of for each unit. The garage itself covers, the foundation garage itself covers, the whole entirety of the 2 lots with setbacks in consideration, and the building is basically an L. And that green space comes on top of part of the garage.
You have a motion?
We do.
We do, and I
A
seconded
second.
it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
We'll have to do that. All right, any further discussion?
Do you have a date for when the public hearing might be?
I think we work with the applicant and look at the calendar
Perfect.
with council, and if we're okay, if the commission's okay with that.
I think that the way they're going about it in plugging in the residents down there as well is the way to go.
Nice job on the parking opportunities, too.
Thank you.
Opportunities, I said, if anyone picked up on that.
All right.
There are opportunities.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Anybody have anything?
I have 2 items. One is obviously Vine and Carmichael, as far as the construction of the possible review, construction, whatever, of both roads.
I now have both LOEs from
Okay.
SEH.
Okay, and then the other one is the 11th Street Bridge. It just keeps getting worse, and we keep getting nowhere.
Shouldn't that be, where is that?
It's in there too. That's the other LOE that I'm waiting on with
Okay,
SEH.
that's all.
And with that release of that 75 million in grant funding, that's a logical thing that we should get moving on.
I would hope that we get something out of that.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay?
Is there any updates on the ballpark?
Yes, please.
I mean,
Everything is proceeding as far as we know.
okay.
For next year.
Yep.
For next year.
For next
Or
year.
Okay.
Move to adjourn.
Second?
Motion second to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Stand adjourned.